Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Girl Scouts and Pirates of the Caribbean film series. Simon Angels here. Um, I'm just doing it. Watch it the first time, seen it on ESPN last week ago on UFC 290. That was about for the last night for the saw this out. Um, Let me just check out what the dates it is. Today is Friday, July 14, 2023. And we're just making about the showdowns. It's like the 10 years of the evolutions. Things about the process about we could the specialization about the last momentarily about we could. Well, I just noticed and understand for a saying in time about these evolution of Majugga Nuggets. Um, it's about next year is the 2023 2024, just like during the school years. Like the last time between the 8 years evolution, about 2015 and 2016 school years. So I've been about the advanced program for the last 8 years, and for the next years was it in September 2015. And that was in about in timelines or about the whole begins and ends about the juggernauts between Big Brother's Pink, the Pit, Big Brother's Pink, the Pit Pink. That's the Pitfall prank. As like the juggernauts just mud pit prank, and those was really about just entirement for about the whole opportunity. We're just having the shows. We're just watching the shows about. We're just talking about the whole situation here. Like entire time, um, I did want to the locking doors about. I just wanted to do closing the doors. I'm sorry, guys. It's just coughing as just long as I can. So I drink Gatorade as far as that I can. I do. I just wanted to show you something about the importance about at all time as far as I can. Well, that's like with Jug and Nuggets that do for about the evolution between addressing each other about the Elma, New Jersey, about the rich race residents or about that's like an 8 year evolution for about from 2015 characters. It's like YouTube channels as far as you could for about just clearest actions. And that's a top 20 for about it listed for about the juggies over years between 3 years and 6 months. And that's a toppable for the evolution. That's like all the time for about the same evolutions about all a lot of those moments ago. But I don't think in some time it's just even lasted for about between calls and between calls out on once Childers begins to end to about the last few moments ago. The last review. Um, just for sure, we just said that about we just believing we could. I just said that already could about standing the ball all the time. Well, in that case, I was in disbeliever about the sins. Probably the 2006 to 2009 for about for 3 years ago. Since I was in disbeliever about 2006 through 2009 for 3 years. Every people just knew about the particular place and all the times. Um, Pro wrestling. It's just understand. It's just saying anytime about as long as soon as possible. It's like indefinitely about the temporarilies, and that's like more, even more about the different kinds. That kinds of be a lot of the serious problems here. Um, it must be about it must be get along. Once a daytime and once a week ago for about that was like it took one of us out as soon as possible. It's like that was like the last 5 minutes ago. That definitely do. I know. We're just having to speak and notice or about. It's just the hard time about some reactions or about some videos actions. It does make sense for about for the last 5 minutes ago. So we'll just take a look at it for about the last of it appears to be the few things about a whole timeline as soon as possible. No, well, this sounds like it did so much things about the possibilities it's like. So since I was noticed for about for the first time it seems, and I just recognize all I have to did is about be done this as of a while ago. Um, just to know for sure, I just said I just believe him. Huh. Well, that was timeline for about the possibilities. It's like the whole time, like the whole last moments ago. We don't do such things about for the first moments. So, so I did for the right things about the whole timelines about soon it must be later on. Um, as soon as possible, as far as to the right. That's my sponsor for reaction for about this far shit took out for about I'm not seeing for sure if about the last 5 minutes ago. We're just watching over about some TV shows, what channel this is that happens now. This could be old schools. Hmm. And that's remind me of scenes of the reckoning, dude. And that's like a square guarders as they do for about the party is here. Same time, we're just watching the reactions. TNT. And that's the boss out as soon as possible. It's a hard thing. Well, that's like in the possibilities. It's like I'll just my news about for later on for about that was like that was about the last 10 minutes ago. It seems to be like it for interesting for must they must be in childhood for about I usually about watching the pro wrestlings and the pro fighters and pro mixed martial artists and pro boxing, the kickboxing, and they're doing my best. Tomorrow was it in fourth with seven, like every 3 hours, and Holly Holmes versus Silva. I just do believe that we could for about to just stand up over each other's. Like sometimes it's like Juggy Stew for about for the last few moments ago, but just don't get this one. Um, I just did notice about the trust heavy people on for about sometimes, and that was been like the last few moments ago. It's great to know the scenes it again and again, all the time. I like the same sort of security action for about it takes. Well, sometimes it's due about the socializations for about social medias, and I do the same thing for about sometimes. I just went through about the whole action for about 3 times. I just went to the the met early dinners at Taco Bell and besides the YMCA building, and with about the cars and about the cars stores and the actions, the other cars, others actions, other cars O'Reilly and Taco Bell's and taco salads, burritos, and tacos could be good. Between Jesse and I, we just have about the situation here for about Buffalo Wild Wings next year's. Um, I might go for about for 10 more months for the next years during the next years for the 10 months. I believe I just wanted to go for about the Buffalo Wild Wings next year's. Um, Mostly have Saturdays due to about the cars as far as I take. Maybe it's sometimes between Corin and Mark and Michael and Parker, Cody, Jesse, Jeffrey, and I will have about the conversation about IHOP situation a single time. So about as far as you do takes. That was the end of about for end dates for about the last month ago. So that's like for the hard out. That's like a hard out without the family. That's like a hard out without the family dinner or lunch, whatever if I can. Well, I just believe about I just do for the hard outs between Regal movie tickets and rewards. It is due to about to the reservations, activations, invitation, and information about username, the login, Regal personal informations, um, take pictures for the private selfies, and receptions confirmed would be $19.99 with the substitution tax, no declinations. Just only the acceptance for about the Regal movie tickets and rewards as far as you do for about $18.99. So that's like I just said, we're just having about replacing AMC. It's also a due for about the Regal movie tickets and rewards. It's due to the about the phone activation on the gift cards just once in time. Um, just want to be sure about we do just get this ones at any time. Like it is so much as soon as possible. Just like oh man, that's where we're going for about just only one upgrade for the drinks. Just the popcorns and the upgrades for the snacks. That's pretty good. So I just like subscribe it on the Regals as the Regal roller coasters. It's like the trailers do for about the commercials. They have the drinks and the sodas and popcorns and hot dogs and pretzels and nachos and cheese and twizzlers and candies. Dude, that's a candy. It's pretty good for about as far as it did takes. TNT channel. Where can we go wrong? So where can we go wrong, man? We're just watching it on WWF, Madison Square Garden, old schools, just like old schools. Madison Square Garden for the old schools. And this is old schools, the old schools, the Madison Square Garden for old schools. The Madison Square Garden, the old schools action. WWF Old Schools in Madison Square Garden between Rowdy Roddy Piper and the Nature Boy Ric Flair and the Bret Hitman Hart and the Monte. Well, this is like Lord Alpha Haynes and Gorilla Monsoons. They both They both passed away for about the tributes to by WWE legends. Even the WWE and employees of the Players of the Years, executive teammates, all the time between WWF President of the United States. It's all about it took care of it as soon as possible. It feels like I just knew for about the shorts about the A&E for about the most treasures about the legendaries about the sold out as soon as possible. It's like and it's like it being a boxer, so about it being a likes, and it must be a possibility. It felt like about that's like the last 10 minutes ago. With different kinds of be endangered species is crucial it takes. I just said watching it on one last night for WWF pay per views in 1997, and it's hard to know about it. Take care about as soon as possible. Hard to know about it took. As soon as we can. It's all I to do my best ever. Well, I believe UFC Chelsea Chandler is talking about Ronda Rousey's returns to the UFCs from WWE. Chris Cyborg worries about Ronda for the last 10 months ago. Chris Cyborg says it seems as like Ronda's mixed martial artist misses her about. That's like in the past 6 years ago for 6 months. It's probably a short for about after the Amanda Nunes and Holly Holm for about the use of about the whole 2 losses records. Just about 12 wins for about for the last 6 years ago for the Evolution. Seems too short about seems gets one to about to the maximum weight. So Chandler wants Ronda to return to UFC this year's all the time in between soon as possibilities like it about the protein in this year's. She was and the greatest woman in all time for about was the fighter. She was the mixed martial artist between mentions on Invicta FCs and Bellator's. The they're both same time about mixed martial artists MMA and Invicta Fighting Championships, Bellator and Ultimate Fighting Championships. And there's just so much about they have a UFC's fitness over there. It's just like UFC's headquarters in Las Vegas, Nevada. Bellator's in Hollywood, California, and then Invicta FC's to go for nowhere for about. They used to have Florida here for about Invicta FC here for about as far as you did. They have the boxing, they have the kickboxing, and professional MMA fighters, kickboxing and boxing. Alright guys, so make sure don't forget to hit the button to subscribe to my contest, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Golden Divine Cameras, the TikToks, Telegrams, and YouTube channel. Subscribe to on Ronda Rousey and subscribe to the UFC's, Invicta FC's, the Bellator's, the WWE, AEW, Impact, the NJPW, Ring of Honor, and the Bella Twins, the Nia Hart, and the King. I'm King Coda and Bailey and Sasha Banks wherever you can, and well, just so you know, for about make sure don't forget to subscribe to my contest array. The Hunter Call for a while comes up about 5 months ago. Now that goes to about Zachy DK, Kill Clinton, and Expansion Worlds, the Jackson Beers, DD33s, Lady Legend XOs, the Lone Gamers, Flinters, Ramen Tubes, and make sure to have here is Shirley Jesters here. We're just going to do that for about between kangaroos and crocodiles, magpie goose, and still red deers, Vela deers, and even the most bigger ones about Rusa deers and sandbar deer and hog deers. I just wanted to make sure to be good hunt professional hunters as much as you can. All right, so just want to make sure to be a subscription to the contest today. So I just want to make sure to be the Continental watching the shows today on the Hunter Call for the Wild, Elmo Coast, Australia. Be watchful. Feel free to watch. Don't forget to keep it rich, mateys.